Hi everyone, my name's Eiley and I'm one of the physiotherapists here at Adventure Physiotherapy. And today I'm going to take you through a little bit of education and information related to infant physiotherapy and when it's a good idea to bring your newborn baby in for a physiotherapy assessment. So there's a couple of different things that we often see in our really young patients, in our newborn babies. One of the big ones is asymmetry or muscular imbalance in terms of the neck and the jaw. And so what you would see at home is if they've got this going on, you'll notice that they really like to look over the same shoulder all the time. So if you notice that every time you put baby in the car seat, every time you're changing their diaper, putting them in a swing, anything like that, if they're always looking over the same shoulder, that can be a sign of some muscular tightness. Similarly, if they really like to just flop over to the same side, that can also be a sign of some tightness. Newborns inherently, they like to just kind of flop over to one side or the other, and it's nothing to be concerned about as long as things are roughly symmetrical. So if they're able to go both ways and they'll look over both ways, that's great. It's more when they have a real preference for one side or the other. That's when we really encourage parents to bring them in for an assessment. The other time that we see a lot of really young kids is when they are having breastfeeding or latch or feeding concerns in general. So the breastfeeding clinic in town and a lot of the lactation consultants are really wonderful about recommending physiotherapy to a lot of these babies that are struggling with feeding. You don't need a referral. You can just give the clinic a call and we are always more than happy to book these kiddos in. But you may, if you're working with a lactation consultant, they might recommend having a physiotherapist take a look at baby. And so typically what we're looking for there is we're trying to optimize what's happening in the jaw, again, that neck and body positioning. The other thing that can happen that we see a fair amount is if babies get really tight in these big jaw muscles up in here. If they're tighter in one side than the other, they get what's called a jaw swing. So when they go to open, they get more of a swing like that. And so it's really hard for them to get a good latch if their jaw isn't opening symmetrically. Similarly, if they are restricted on both sides, it can make it really hard for them to get a full open to actually latch on. So these are a few of the things that if you're noticing these things or if you're kind of working through these with your newborn, these are things that we can help with. I've got a couple of video clips here to show you what to expect and what an assessment and a treatment typically looks like for the newborns. So let's jump into that. So when you first bring baby in, we like to chat a little bit and get a bit of a history first, and then we get baby situated up on the plinth, just like this. And I like to start off by checking how everything feels up in the shoulders, and I'll check neck range of motion like you see me doing here. Sometimes I'll also take a feel down through their spine and their hips. And then once we've got an idea of any restriction that's going on, then we can go in and use different toys to encourage some stretching of some tight muscles like I'm doing here. The other option that we have that I often utilize is I will go in and use my hands to do some stretching or release of the muscles. Everything we do is very, very gentle with these small babies, and most of them tolerate things very well. However, it's not uncommon, especially towards the end of the appointment, for them to start getting a little bit fussy and a little bit angry. I usually say they're pretty much just done with me bugging them at that point. Appointments are usually about a half an hour long, and then we go from there.